All right, guys, we are at our next stop. We just crossed that bridge. How cool is that? We did find a date. So that's pretty cool. I love dates, especially like stuff like that. And then the picture before you cut to me that you did see, that old picture, what a find that is. So this is another view of the Clark's Mills train station in this bridge. So this is like on the other side of the river. The train station's right over there. As you can see in the picture, you've seen that guy standing right off to the side. I love stuff like that. I'm a history nut. So that guy was standing like right there, like over 100 years ago. But this picture is such a cool find because it tells so much about the area and how it was laid out. All right, so as you can see, that building right over here, you can kind of see it in the picture, the building that we walked across before we came across on the other side of the creek, right here. So that's pretty cool. And then you can see that big tower with that foundation in our last video where we seen the foundation of the old building. I'm not sure what it is. I'm still trying to find information about it. You did see where the train track did veer to the right. You can see some train cars on it. How cool is that? Also, when you cross the bridge, so this is two rails going across the bridge, probably not too far from there, you've seen another track that shot off over here. So what I've been reading is, I'm so glad that I got a picture of that because I wanted to talk about it. So what I've been reading is from Clark's Mills, at least to Vernon, what I've been reading so far, for about 8.5 miles, they did add a third rail. That was for faster trains, so they wouldn't get slowed up from the slower moving trains. They wouldn't be held up, so they did add a third rail. How cool is that? So you can see in the picture, see the two rails that came off, and the one that shot off to the right. That is just awesome. What an awesome picture. What an awesome find. All right, guys, that way. Alright guys, we are at our next stop and I'm real excited about this one. Just an awesome find with that picture that you just saw left off before it came to me. Just an awesome picture. Alright guys, so you see a building off to the right and you see the railroad bed with 3 rails going, like we talked earlier in the video where they did add another rail from Clark's Mills to Vernon for the faster moving trains. And to the right, you see an old substation. Now, what is a substation? Okay, so the Westshore Railroad, I had some people comment earlier in my first video saying that the Westshore Railroad was now electrified. It was. It was electrified from Utica, New York. Utica, New York is that way, all the way to Syracuse, New York, that way. And there's 4 substations, and Clark's Mills being the first one. So you can see it, and we know there is a concrete slab back there. I did look around before talking to you guys, but this is where it was because here's the corner of it. I guess it's all overgrown, it's hard to see, but you can still see the concrete slab. It's 90-degree angle right here, and then here's the railroad bed right here. So it's right next to the railroad bed. So this is the old substation right here. I did find some neat pictures of it, and even inside. But it was pretty decent size because it goes, it was raised a little bit. I'm not sure for what, but it was raised a little bit. But it's pretty decent size. It went like, I'm making out like right here. Like here, you can see it, can't you guys? It was pretty decent size. But over 6,000 volts they electrified the rail with. That's crazy. What I hear is, at the time, one of the first of its kind. So how cool is this? Like, we would be walking, and so we would be inside the substation right now. So pretty cool. Then back here, there's another foundation. So this would be the back of the substation. I found some cool pics. You'll see right now. How cool is that? So I walked back here, and I mean, there's concrete everywhere. But there's a building over here. It's pretty decent size. I wonder if it had anything to do, oh, there's some concrete there, have anything to do with the Westshore Railroad. Like a warehouse, storage, something to do with the voltage or something. But you can see it right now. We're walking on the old concrete slab right now. This tree is overgrown in it. But in this corner, you can really see it. You see it right here. It's a pretty big building too. I walked all the way around. It's pretty big. So I'm thinking that this maybe had something to do with it, because the substation's right there. I mean, this is right in the back. Maybe it had something to do with like delivering power or something like that, like power lines. If you guys know, just let me know, comment below, because I'm still trying to find things about it. But I can't find anything. But you guys can kind of see it though. You can see the substation right there. But how cool of a find is this? I was trying to find, because there was nothing on it until I found pictures of where the substation is. All I read was it was somewhere in Clark's Mills. So, but then I found that picture, and it pointed out here's a concrete slab. So put 2 to 2 together, and we got the substation. But how cool of this find was it? So yes, the Westshore Railroad was electrified, at least from Utica, New York to Syracuse, New York. Love stuff like this. Cool. All right, guys, I cannot wait what awaits us that way. Let's get it, guys. Alright guys, we are at our next stop, and what a stop it is. I am like in a ditch right now. What I do for you guys, but you know I love it. I do have a date of 1905. We are under the old Westshore Railroad. How cool is that? And you can just, early in the video, when I said that they added a third rail, you can see it right now, right after the bridge. So the Westshore Railroad was built in the 1880s, and this is this old stone right here, the original rail. So now we got a date of 1905. That's later on than the 1880s. Makes sense because they added a third rail. You can just see it right here. You have old stone right here. They have newer concrete that they added. This would be the third rail that they added for the faster trains, so they don't get slowed up. So there was 3 rails. You can see right there. They removed that one. Bada boom, bada bang, boom. I don't know if I did that right. But how cool is that? I love seeing stuff like that. Maybe I'm just a history nerd and just weird. Anyways, I'm gonna crawl back out of here and not get hurt, and we're gonna head that way. Alright guys, we are at our next stop, and what a stop this is. What a beautiful bridge of the Westshore Railroad. And this shows you a clearer picture of what I was talking about in the earlier clips. I heard that they added another rail for trains, faster trains, so they're not slowed up by like the trolleys, because this was electrified, or trolleys or trains. I'm hearing both that were electrified, and it shows you a clearer picture of what I was talking about. So 1880s was built, the Westshore Railroad was built through Utica to Syracuse. As you can see on this concrete over here, it says 1906. It makes perfect sense because that's when they electrified the rail in 1907. So obviously they have to build the bridge and everything before they finalize it. And it makes perfect sense that they did expand it with this concrete, because this is not original right here. But so we're talking like so this stone cut right here, we're talking like 1880s. And then this concrete, obviously 1906 when it was finished. But how cool is this, guys? Just absolutely awesome. If you like taking pictures, you can take pictures all day. Too cool. All right, guys, that way.